So, I'm not used to...
I always start recording like at awkward moments just so it's sort of more authentic and it catches us in the...
Well, I was ready. Okay, let's begin the conversation that's not recorded, and then you'll start recording at some point in the middle of it.
Yeah, let's do that. No.
I know, you really knocked my socks off. Because here's the thing. This is what I was thinking about.
I'm closer to the record button.
Yes. Yeah, well, ultimately, there's always been the option that I could be the one hitting the record button, but Brandan and I recently changed our setup, and this setup especially makes it so Brandan is much closer to that record button than I am.
But Drew looks really regal the way he's sitting.
I'm quite comfortable. I do feel bad for Brandan. He doesn't have a footrest.
I don't care.
You kind of do.
The thing with I don't like resting my feet on like things so much. Like I don't like resting them on separate pieces of furniture from what I'm sitting on. Like if I'm on my couch, I will recline and then go lengthwise. But if it's like a coffee table, like in front of the couch or an ottoman, like I just can't keep my feet there. There's something about it. So it's just as well.
I will recline every given opportunity I have in my life. I do it at work. I do it at home. I will do it when riding a bike if I can. And it has led to what my dad calls highly unorthodox posture, which I am now doing extensive stretches to correct. But do I plan on stopping my reclining behavior? Absolutely not. If I'm going to be alive on this planet, I'm going to be comfortable.
I could just picture Drew like doing stretches like, worth it.
Basically.
So worth it.
Because I can't directly say that this reclining has led to these postural problems. It's a fair assumption. I will say, though, it's something called swayback. Now...
Is that a real word?
It's a real thing. You've heard me. I'm always bringing it up. I've probably said it in every podcast episode so far.
Excuse me.
But basically, just picture the sexiest person you can think of.
Gal Gadot.
Okay. Picture the man version. I guess it can happen with...
Henry Cavill.
This can happen with women, but for the sake of this example and simplifying it, Henry Cavill, okay. He is quite handsome.
He is handsome. And British.
Yeah. Okay, now picture him with the posture of Donald Duck. So this might be challenging, but what you should be doing is picturing him with his ass sticking out and his stomach sticking out.
Mm-hmm. And waving his fists around like Donald Duck, or...
I mean, that's a bonus. If that helps you get in the right frame of mind, you are welcome to.
Mm-hmm.
That is called swayback. It's a postural thing where basically your spine kind of curves, and what it results in is your ass sticking out and your stomach sticking out, which is...
Oh!
It's good in the back, awful in the front.
Well, you could have just said, think of a 90s or Frank Miller female drawing, and it would be just the same.
Oh, the stomachs tend to be more slender, I think.
It's slender, but it's the same time it's like they distort them so where it's like...
Yeah, and that's the thing. In women, it tends to be, I suppose, a preference. I don't know if it's healthy at all, but to have that sort of back arch, I think it's even a little bit natural because, just the way that their hips are designed. But for men, and possibly all humans, but I'm no doctor here, you get this curve, and not only does it not look attractive, but it's just not good for you posturally. I mean, I've had it for years and years and years. I'll never forget, I was trying to figure out what it was, because I just had this problem, and I didn't know how to diagnose it. And I was always looking in a mirror, just trying to, stand correctly. And, of course, it's not as easy as doing that. I mean, you can do it for a little bit, but it's not going to be permanent. And so my dad looks at me looking in the mirror one day. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm trying to figure out this thing. And I briefly explain in a sentence or two what is ailing me. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, swayback." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I've got it. Yeah, swayback." Like, this has been bothering me for years, and you just knew what it was? He's like, "Yeah. How do I get rid of it?" You just live with it. No! So, of course, yeah, me...
Worst news ever.
Not wanting it at all, I looked that up, and of course, yes, there is a way that you can fix your posture. You don't have to live with sway back forever. But...
Unfortunately, it involves surgery, I'd imagine.
No, you just...
Or just regular...
It's just a matter of training your body and stretching the right things, and from what I know, again, I'm no doctor, I have heard that there can be a lot of success. And the stretches are... I don't want to say fun, but engaging. I'll say that. But I have to say, of everything I have going on with my body, I think sway back makes me the most unattractive, in my opinion. So I'm not a fan of it. And I believe if you start putting on your sway back goggles, I think you're going to notice that there are more people with sway back than you think. I've got some...
I'll keep my eyes open.
I've got sway kin. But yes, as I was saying in the very beginning, I was looking through my sound recorder, which you can see right in front of you, and I was looking at its various features because I was trying to do a technical thing. And I saw that it had the option to, you can hit the record button and it'll record the first 2 seconds before the button was hit, which is an interesting feature. So let's say the practical application of this is if you're on a film set or something like that and a take starts way earlier than you think. You're, oh, fuck! And you hit the record button. If you hit the record button no later than 2 seconds after it started, you have that safety. You get the whole performance. I was thinking that could be interesting for me.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking about our podcast and I go, well... We don't need that because the whole point of hitting that record button is to interrupt and come in at an inconvenient times. So there's no point in course correction there.
But like, so how does that work? Like, it's constantly deleting what it hears?
I don't know how it works, but basically, I assume that when it's not recording, the sound levels are still going, and it must just have the capability to know what came 2 seconds before it. It must... Yeah, so I would assume you're right. It must just have a vague log that's constantly churning of these are the 2 seconds that happened in the past. These are the new 2 seconds that happened in the past. Et cetera, et cetera.
Well, shall we get into it? I say we start with a fuck yeah this week.
All the way here in the beginning?
Yeah, we've done in the beginning, haven't we?
I know, we have.
Oh.
I'm worried, man.
Let's start the new year off positive, Drew.
That's true.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year, or if this is being recorded at a later time, Happy Martin Luther King Day, or if it's being recorded at a later time, Happy Valentine's Day, or if it's being aired at a later time, Happy President's Day, or if it's being aired at a still later time, Happy National Women's Day. I can't think of any holidays.
I mean, Brandon, if you wanted to keep up the bit, we could come up with 400 and spend the hour that way. I'll just...
Each day is a feast day for a certain saint, so...
Brandon keeps going. I just pull out my Nintendo 3DS. I'm like, okay. I can roll with this.
Just face it.
Yes. Happy New Year's.
Yes.
2018. It is New Year's Day. And I think that nothing about that's going to change, Brandon.
No.
Because time doesn't work that way.
So let's start. I say we start off with something positive.
That's fair.
Do you want to go first, or?
I haven't thought of anything.
That's fine. I'll go first.
I almost... Have you thought of something?
I have thought of something.
You really came prepared.
I try to come prepared to these recordings, so you're not just sitting around boring everyone.
That's fair.
Which is exactly what we did in talking about Swayback, but whatever.
No. 18 billion Americans suffer from swayback.
Billion.
Yes. You think that was a mistake? No, sir. But fine, go on.
So this was a couple of weeks ago. My girlfriend and I were entertaining a couple friend of ours, and they had brought champagne. Now, have you had champagne before?
Brandon, I would like to take this opportunity to make this statement that I have had champagne.
Excellent. Have you opened a bottle of said champagne?
Yes.
Okay, well, I hadn't, and this was a new experience for me because I'm like, okay, you can take the gold stuff off, and then it's like this wireframe covering the cap, so untwist, untwist, untwist. I take it off, and my friend Erin's trying to help me, with it, and I'm like, what do you do? She's like, oh, you just, jam your thumb in there, and then just, put it up. I shook it a little bit, just so I thought maybe the pressure can sort of help. And I've seen movies, so I know what's gonna happen. I just don't know how it's gonna happen. And I'm push, and then for like I think 10 seconds of struggling, it went bang. It scared the shit out of me, but at the same time, it went shot into the ceiling, came down. But you know how it's usually like an overflow, like that, zero overflow. Bang, shot off, put it down, and everyone was in. I was like, whoa, nothing came out. How about that? I thought I was gonna have to clean up a big mess.
Well, I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure you're supposed to shake it, and then the pressure just makes the cork explode out of the bottle, and then it overflows.
Really?
Am I wrong there?
I don't know. I said, it was my first time, and I did not expect to get this out on the first time, so...
I assume it would work that way, but I don't really know. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I've seen so many movies where there's just that coverage shot of pop, champagne!
Well, Matt Parker of Number File and Stand Up Maths fame just did a video that I saw where they looked at a champagne bottle with a high-speed camera, and you could see as the bottle, the cork pops off like in a straight line, the high-speed camera captures this sound wave that hovers right above above the bottle, because the air outside is different from the air inside, and it's passing forward really fast, and that's what creates the sort of sound. And I'm like, wow, that's really cool. And only with champagne. You don't see that with wine.
Well, now I feel like I should research swayback and champagne so I can become very informed. But now is unfortunately not the time to do it. It is interesting, though. I actually recently opened a bottle of champagne. Same thing happened. Unfortunately, I didn't...
Oh, no overflow?
No overflow.
Awesome.
One time I opened a bottle of champagne in a car. I do not recommend that.
Was it on New Year's Eve?
No. I think it was February or something. It's me and my friend Mitch, just in a car. Like, hey, let's open the champagne bottle in the car. Okay.
What could possibly go wrong?
It's loud. That's what went wrong.
Broke the glass.
I actually have a fuck yeah this week, and it happened today, and it was amazing. Okay? So, Brandon, as you know, I'm trying to lose some weight. Not because it's a new year. That's just a coincidence. But
he's right.
Anyway, so I'm doing a workout routine today. And it's a 30-minute workout routine. Now, there's intensity here and there. It's not just straight running. I'm only mentioning that so I can sell myself as cool. But disregarding that, I am approaching the end of the workout. We've got maybe 38 seconds left. And this is a machine that tracks a lot of things, and it tracks your mileage among these things. And I'm at 1.9 miles. And what I was aiming to do the entire time was go the same pace for the whole 30 minutes, which is something I don't usually do. You know, sometimes I'll slow down and speed up, but I just went one constant pace.
What was your pace?
I don't know specifically.
Oh, okay.
My body was just I'm running this fast. I went with my brain pace. But anyway, so sometimes I might go, oh man, I really want to hit 300 calories, and I'll be at 293 or something, so I really pick up the pace to rack those calories before the set one, something like that. But I was thinking, I could go extra fast to try to get to that 2-mile point, that perfect 2-mile point, but I don't want to just suddenly change my pace. So I just kept going and hoping for the best. Literally, it got to 0 seconds, workout ended, and it displays a final thing. And the bad news is, as I got to 0 seconds, I was at 1.9 miles. I'm like, I didn't make it. When it displayed the final thing, 2 miles. And I literally, and this might be the first time in Fuck Yeah This Week history that this story was accompanied with this. When I saw that, I said, fuck yeah. I was so happy. I perfectly just got to 2 miles. Going the exact same pace. I was jogging the perfect 2-mile pace, not taking into consideration all the various inclines and intensities and things like that. So that was awesome, but now when I go to work out tomorrow, I know, well, that's not going to happen again.
And it was just a full 30 minutes?
Full 30 minutes.
So then you must have been going 4 miles an hour.
Well, again, it's not taking into consideration the inclines and intensities and things like that.
Oh, right. Uh-huh.
Because it's not just a normal treadmill. It's got some functions. Some funky functions, as they say.
Yes. They do say.
Yeah. Numbers are cool.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Was it like a subdued or was it like a scream? Like
no, it was exactly as you heard it. Just like, fuck yeah. I was happy.
You got a word for us? Word of the day, son?
I would tell you, but I just wanted to wait for the fuck yeah music to finish up.
Oh, okay.
Because it's happening like as we're talking. And I don't know why it's happening after the segment. It's very bad editing. But yes, it's a time for word of the day.
Yes, it is.
Did I mess that up? See, you get a sound that gets to go with your thing.
You come up with a sound then.
Should be a sound.
It should be like, I don't know, Snoop Dogg saying word.
It's the 10th episode. Should I get my own theme song?
I don't know.
My own word of the day theme song?
Compose like a 5-second thing just for this spot. Like,
Hey, it's Drew. It's time for the word.
Come on and gather round and come on and gather round and come on and gather round and start the fuck yeah this week.
Yes. Wait, hold up. Ready? Mm-hmm. What's my name backwards? Say it. Only my first name.
Oh, your first name.
Yes.
Wordna.
God damn! You fucked it up, and I knew you would do it. Well, it would have been real funny if he said word, and I went, "How's the day? Ha ha!" But no, Brandon's just sitting there wearing his troll clothes.
Yep.
Because he was prepared to be a troll.
Standard issue troll clothes. Buy it now on Etsy.
Forgot the fucking word.
You have the dictionary, don't you?
Dictionary's under the sound recorder.
Oh.
But,
it is?
No, it's on my computer, but I want to try to see if I can remember it. No, that's not gonna happen. I knew this would happen.
Come back, Drew.
No, you're just gonna have to deal with my sound being very far away now.
So long, so far away.
Okay, I better hurry back.
Ding 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 ding.
Well, today's word of the day is. Hold on, I want to get some good posture. Stretch out the mouth. Okay, today's word of the day is victual.
Like, I don't know what that means.
You might also hear it formatted as victuals.
Is it like a like congratulations of some sort, or?
That's interesting, but no.
Darn it.
It essentially means the same thing as provisions. It's food for human consumption.
Yeah. I guess when it was a vocab word back in high school, but
I don't remember it at all.
I forgot.
Victuals. So yes, that was an interesting setup, right? I was giving you clues and I was stretching out my mouth. Right?
Yes. Oh, when I heard, and well, here's the thing: when I heard provisions, I thought like, oh, like camping supplies, not like criterions or something.
And to be honest, I was not giving you clues at all. I was just like, yeah, let's stretch out my mouth.
Well, our high on knowledge for today is something. Actually, that like my dad actually told me about. I don't know how he ended up hearing about this, but it had something to do with this Australian wine that some neighbors of ours got him for the holidays, and it's the wine is like you can log onto this app and like take a picture of the people on the wine, and it gives you like background and information on them. There's 19 images on this wine, and it's this Australian wine that commemorates Australia's history as a penal colony. So these are all people who were convicted in England and then sent to Australia for their crimes. But somehow related to that, he also was looking up this other thing, and it was a different kind of punishment back in the day called I think it's imperial ban. Yeah. And it was a church crime, or a crime that, like, the church before it split with the Reformation and everything, like, could accuse you of. So there's excommunication, which means you're out of the church, you're going to hell, blah blah blah. Too bad, so sad. But and while that is, I guess, bad in, like, if you believe in the afterlife sort of sense, that's bad. But then, in my opinion, bad in the oh crap sort of sense is this imperial ban, which essentially, like, if the church said that you were convicted of this, it meant that you weren't a person anymore. Like, you were essentially like a non-entity, meaning anyone who found you, unless you got the hell out of Dodge, could rob you blind or kill you or beat you to death or just beat you without killing you, and there would be no criminal repercussions for that.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. My, how times change.
How far back was this?
This is like Middle Ages type stuff. Pre-Reformation, I'd say.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
glad we don't have that anymore. Unless you're in ISIS.
Brandon, let's watch some ISIS execution.
Yeah, let's do that.
That'll be
well,
fun.
today we have no.
Actually, for real, I was watching. Basically, I had to watch videos for research purposes of trains crashing, and inevitably this led to things getting hit by trains. Okay, there's that deer got hit by a train. There's a bird that got hit by a train. A whole herd of cows.
There's that scene in The Bye-Bye Man, get hit by a train.
Spoiler alert!
Excuse me.
No, for real, when I was watching that scene with you yesterday, I was thinking, that's not realistic. I've seen a real human body get hit by a train. It tears apart like the exact second of impact. Which is pretty disturbing. But yes, as I've spoiled, I got into some gruesome territory. And then later that day, I'm with two of our other friends. I'm like, hey, let's just watch some horrible videos of people dying. And it turns out there's a Reddit for that. Watch people die.
Reddit or subreddit?
Subreddit.
Uh-huh.
And so on the Watch People Die subreddit, there's all sorts of fun and fancy-free videos. Probably the most haunting one being this couple. Let me set the stage. It's going to be audio theater. All right? I don't know how we got into this.
Audio theater, then you hear like jazz music.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I won't finish this story, but I slightly zoned out during your high on knowledge because it started getting a little like history lesson. I'm like, oh, teach, come on, teach. So I feel bad telling this story if I didn't make sure that I complete. Okay, so it happened in the Middle Ages. I know what the consequences of the law, but why was it a law?
It wasn't a law. It was the church. If you'd committed some crime against the church or some sin, the church.
Oh, then you got on a list where
church said, "Hey, this person isn't real anymore."
Isn't real?
Isn't real, but it's like is not a human worthy of dignity. So you can do with them as you please.
Wow. So if I steal like 1 penny out of the collection tin,
no.
Oh, it had to be worse.
Also, the church just changed, so...
I assume they had collection tins since the beginning of time.
But not in the Stone Age.
Yeah, there'd always be this, like, fancy silver collection tin. Like, this has just always been here.
We use all these stone tools. What's this metal thing?
It's perfectly shaped like
Should we smelt it? No.
Like, the Big Bang happened, and there were dinosaurs, and there's just fucking silver.
and a vicar with a collection tin.
Just picture like a T-Rex like eating a smaller dinosaur. There's just like a little silver plate that's just hanging out.
Penny for the pteranodon, sir.
They've been around forever. Yeah, I love how we're talking about dinosaurs and talking about like ecclesiastic collection plates. Like, I don't know, man. Like, church and dinosaurs is a really odd like, I want to tell a Bible story with dinosaurs. Isn't it just so bizarre?
The closest you could probably get are like Job or Jonah or Revelation, I guess. But yeah.
Come on, just Veggie Tales with Dino Tales. We can make it happen.
Dino Tales, evolution.
That makes me think of Dragon Tales, which is a theme song. Dragon Tales, Dragon Tales. That's all I remember.
It's almost time for Dragon Tales.
Okay, that's right.
Come along, take my hand. Let's all go to Dragonland.
Now someone's gonna play that audio bit on loop while they're busting a nut. That's exactly.
God, I hope so.
That's exactly what they needed. Yeah, I don't know. That just came back to me recently. And speaking of Dragon Tales, the story about people drowning.
Yes.
So, did I not reveal?
It's a couple and a guy. Okay, I guess they drown. You found them on the subreddit?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I unfortunately spoiled it, but then again, so did the video titles. But basically, what happens is you have this couple, and they're in a pool. And the first time I saw it, admittedly, I didn't see the video title. The second time, I did. So I wish I didn't spoil it, but whatever. I'm just gonna have to live with this for the rest of my life. Like, unlike these people, because they're dead. Anyway, so this couple, they set down their video camera, and they go into this pool. Or
like
something
their home pool,
not a
like
hotel pool or anything like that. It's like in the wilderness.
Oh, okay, so it's
they're in nature, and it looks nice. It looks picturesque, and they go in, and then suddenly they just start thrashing for a long time, like minutes, and then they're gone. They're submerged, and I thought my first thought was there underwater quicksand or something. Because I thought maybe that exists. Then I thought, was that just a really weird shark attack or something like that? And I look into the video and it says, no, that was drowning. And I'm thinking, one, why would you go swimming if you can't swim? Because apparently they couldn't swim. And that's how they drowned, because they weren't able to swim and it got deeper than they thought.
Did the description have like a criminal autopsy report or something like that? No.
It was just known because it was a apparently widely circulated video. But I don't want to blame them, because apparently that happens all the time. The really upsetting thing, though, is that this was their first anniversary getaway trip. And think of how horrifying it is to have recorded video of you and your loved one, like the love of your life, just drowning together. It's romantic in the darkest sense imaginable.
So, the Romeo and Juliet sense?
I suppose.
Darker still, I guess.
You're dying together, and it's on camera forever. It's just... It's romantically horrific.
Was it a camera or like an iPhone?
A camera. Well, actually, from what I know, I think one of them was dragging the other under just out of desperation, but I didn't pay attention to that detail. So it might not have been quite as romantic. Even romantic is an odd word to tie to that video.
How big was the body of water?
It looked like a lake to me.
Oh, a lake. Okay.
I mean, a small pondish lake.
Okay.
It was hard to tell.
I'm picturing like a lagoon in the forest.
Lagoon is not a bad imagery to picture. It honestly, basically, I'll call any body of water that's a circle a lake, and if it's long, it's a river, and that's it. That's all I got. And the really big ones are oceans. And I know what a grotto is. Like, a grotto is the place under the water.
Judging from the quality, was it a recent recording, or...
I actually don't know what the date was. I mean, it wasn't a great camera recording, but...
did it have a date stamp?
It probably did.
If it did, that's old then, you know.
Oh, no, it didn't have a date stamp on the video recording, but that was a setting that was optional for a lot of cameras. Even back in the 90s. It wasn't great footage. I don't know when it happened. I almost don't want to know. But I mean, I wish him well. My best guess, honestly, is 2012 or something like that. But I don't remember. But yeah, that was scary. There were a lot of other scary videos.
Scary
so if you're interested in that, watch people die, subreddit.
I don't ever read it, so I guess I won't do that.
That's fine. I mean, I don't either. You can just... That's what I like about it.
Oh, you just look on it? Oh,
You can
okay.
just find things. Unlike Facebook, if you want to do anything on Facebook, you have to have an account.
Yeah.
You have to be logged in. You can't just, I'm really interested in liking this page for Twizzlers, because Twizzlers are my favorite candy. Like, fuck you. Make a Facebook profile. Like, oh. Which makes sense. I mean, like, you'd have to have a profile to like it. But let's say you just want to, like, just look at the Twizzlers Facebook page. Let's say you're old... You're grandpa, and you're like, I don't want to commit to getting to Facebook. I want to do things the long and difficult way because that's what I'm comfortable with. So I just want to search Twizzlers on Facebook to get the latest updates on my favorite candy. And grandpa doesn't want to make a Facebook, but he's forced to make a Facebook if he wants to know the latest updates about his favorite candy. Grandpa loves his Twizzlers, Brandon.
Well, you brought up Facebook, and I think that's a good segue into what we'd like to talk about today.
That's
which
true.
Is, you came up with this, so why don't you introduce specifics or points of discussion?
Well, I like living in a fantasy world where you can just meet a lot of people that you like and you stay in touch with them all the time. And it's
Forever.
really cool. But what happens is sometimes you stay in touch with some people and sometimes you don't. And there are a lot of instances where you just have distance or something happen where basically people you might have been seeing every day or frequently, you don't see them as frequently. And so I wanted to start a discussion on the phenomenon of what happens when people that you had the opportunity to be very close with, you suddenly find you can't be as close with because of various circumstances. And I don't know, for me, just to get the ball rolling, it makes me really sad. Because there are some people that I can think of that I really, really connected with. And life happens. And, with the person I'm thinking of specifically, we went to the same school, but then ultimately I wound up going to a different school. And I was really close with this person. And I really liked this person. But this person is not good at keeping in touch. Because I guess some people are wired to not really be in touch. And it was just a real bummer to have years pass and this person's living their life. And, we're friends on Facebook, so I see them. They're being themselves. And I'm not a part of their life anymore. It was sad because I was thinking about all the great times we had. And, you really want to be a part of their life because you like them a lot. But you can't be. And I can apply that to a lot of people. And sometimes I feel like they don't keep in touch. They're the worst. Sometimes it might be one of those, it's fine. They're acquaintances or whatever. Well, that wouldn't apply if they were acquaintances and he didn't care. But if we're sticking to, people I care about and drifting apart, sometimes it's my fault. I mean, there's a roommate that was really cool that I had years and years ago, and he's one of the coolest people I know. I haven't kept in touch with him. I mean, I see what he's up to on Facebook all the time, but we haven't had an opportunity to see each other occur naturally. And I mean, he hasn't arranged to talk with me or visit me, but neither have I. You know what I mean? There's rarely people that I like that reach out and say, let's hang out, and I'm like, nah. Like, you know what I mean?
That's like never happened to me. Or if it is a let's hang out, it's, I see someone at a party or get together or something like that, it's like, we should hang out at some point. And I'm like, yeah, and then nothing ever happens with that. And that's not just me, that's everyone. Everyone has that one friend who's like, we should hang out, and then nothing comes of it. Sometimes it's a mutual thing, and other times it's the person who was asked to hang out tries to hang out with them. This has been me several times, and they're flake all around.
Yes. Okay, that's happened to me too.
It's infuriating.
Yeah, the people that go, we should hang out, and it's just sort of to satiate themselves in that moment.
Yes.
Where they can think, I'm still friends with this person, I did it.
Yeah.
But clearly they don't actually want to have a meaningful connection with you.
No.
They just want to, like, reminisce for a little bit.
And then that's it. However, this past Halloween, I was asked to go hang out with this person, his girlfriend, a mutual friend of ours, and probably bring my girlfriend along too. And we meant to make that happen like after Halloween, but we still haven't done it, which is why I am fucking determined to make it happen before the end of January. Because at this point, I have no one to blame but myself, because I'm the one who's been essentially busy. Which isn't to say that they haven't also, but I this is the one instance where, like, someone said we should do this. This is going to take some initiative on my part. Versus, other times where I have taken initiative and nothing's come of it, then it's a whole other can of worms.
And I gotta say, you, of all the people I know, are almost, I shouldn't phrase it this way, but I will anyway, too good at keeping in touch with people. Because you keep in touch.
I'm gonna before I will let you finish, but I'm gonna let you finish, Taylor. But Beyonce had the greatest album of all time.
Now I get your joke.
I'm gonna let you finish, but I will say I may end up relegating what you say to something that's more accurate. But
that's fine.
Finish your thought, please.
Well, from my perspective, from the bystander perspective, I just see you, and you'll be posting something on Facebook and, like, linking or tagging a friend that I'm thinking, has Brandon even spoken to this person in like 8 years? Because I
can't imagine who you're referencing, but
no, it's happened.
That doesn't sound beyond me.
I don't know if it's happened recently, but I just remember seeing it a lot over the years, and I was thinking, like, I wonder how these people think about it. Because, I mean, if you're really close with someone, or you were really close with someone, I think that'd be one thing. But if there was someone I took, like, an economics class with, and, maybe we sat next to each other and chatted, and we were acquaintances, and that person, like, 8 years later, like, references a conversation we had all the way back then, I might be thinking, what the fuck? Like, why are you thinking about me? Like, go live your life, bro. Like, but that's the thing. You've got a life. You've got a lot going on. But I just think you've got brain priorities where, these are meaningful things to you. And I mean, I don't look down on it at all. It's odd, but it's kind of really respectable that you'll commit to these friendships and remember these things and reference these things. And I almost feel bad because I know other people don't have the brains you do, and they might let go before you do, which would create, like, an awkward situation,
It's not so much, I guess, with the age of Facebook and everything, there is a quantity over quality in terms of relationships, but even people I have the tersest relationship with, I try to keep a semblance of quality in there. Garfunkel and Oates has this song called Happy Birthday to My Loose Acquaintance. Very funny song, but it's all about, keeping minor social interactions alive with very, very big happy birthday messages to people you don't really know, which I've stopped wishing people happy birthday. I used to wish happy birthday to everyone.
I noticed.
Now I don't really do it anymore. I do wish it to people whose connection I value in, like, a personal sense. Yeah. Not to say, like, I don't value all my Facebook friends. I love all you guys. You're not listening, but I don't care.
You should post this on Facebook.
I tried to post on Facebook.
That's true.
What's that? But the thing with me is, like, I value human connection to a lot of things because I didn't really have that many friends growing up. And that's partially because I mostly stayed inside and played video games, and I wasn't really friends with people I did sports with. I was kind of bullied in high school, which was more or less a cyclical result where, like, I didn't know a lot of cool kid things or, like, current pop culture stuff, which made me, like, outside the conversation, which led to bullying, which led to more being outside the conversation, blah, 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 blah. And then just being annoying also. Like I said this at a group of friends got together a couple days ago, and like we were talking about, like, yeah, we really don't like younger us, and I'm like, oh, I really don't like younger me, even 2000 as late as 2010 me, or 2011, 12 me. I'm not really a big fan of. So there's that. So I try my best to keep it alive in whatever respects, but at the same time, I lost my train of thought.
Choo choo.
Yeah, there it goes. Oh yeah, the example I was thinking of is, because you mentioned a friend in an economics class, and like, outside of like, not as much as I hate to say it, like, yeah, I was friends with you in drama club, and like other mutual friends of ours, throughout that, but like I never like went to their house or hung out or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
we
I
could
never
talk
did
about
that. But if you want to, if you want to talk about like actual like group of guys like going to do stuff, like cracking jokes and like being weird and all that, there was a project in economics class senior year where we were doing like a video on like the history and causality of certain economic crises in the United States, and we made it like a Back to the Future parody. And this ended up being like the first video I ever directed. I used directed with quotation marks, but I basically wrote the storyboards, script, and like say, oh yeah, here's what we can do, and like if y'all want to like contribute, various parts, like that's fine. And we did a straight Back to the Future parody. It was me and like 1, 2, 3, like 4 other guys from class, along with my sister's now ex-boyfriend, who I had on hand to help with videography stuff. And yeah, we did. It was like on 2 different weekends over Christmas break. We shot at my house, and after both times we went to Wendy's. And there's a point. I'm getting to it. And it was a good time. We cracked a lot of jokes. We're all in the same class, so we more or less knew each other and like were able to have fun of it. And all different personalities. It was a good time. Since then, I've not kept in touch with my sister's ex-boyfriend. I have either he defriended me or I defriended someone just who I wasn't talking to anymore. Nice guy. Just didn't talk to him anymore. But I am still friends with the other 2 on Facebook, and I shared, I think a year to the day, this is in college, and maybe the year after as well. I had the video on what I guess is now my old YouTube channel, because I'd uploaded it to that as well. And I said, remember the glory days, and like everyone who was in it ended up liking it, and that felt good. But yeah, outside of that, the next time like I really fell in with like a posse is probably like my senior year roommates, who I do keep in touch with for the most part. So I don't know, like back in the day, keeping in touch was not only so difficult, it was like almost expected. But nowadays you have, and this might get off topic a little bit, but nowadays, networking is so important. And also like if you like say something bad to someone in middle school, that shit will come back to haunt you when you're interviewing and they're the hiring manager or something like that. Because they'll find you on Facebook, or they'll find you with drunk on Facebook or something like that, which like, yeah, it's a problem.
So I suppose the moral of your story was that sometimes you keep like those 2 people you kept in touch with on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Do you hang out with them?
I don't hang out with them. That's the thing.
Okay, so yeah, there's still a lot of driftage.
Yeah, there's still driftage, but yeah, in terms of pure social media connection, yeah, they're the only 2 ones.
Do you feel bad?
I don't feel bad
that the
You know,
gang's not together.
No, not really. I don't know. Like, I like it when I hang out with groups of people, but because I'm an introvert, like, I don't like doing it all the time. Because I don't like it when things get disorganized. Like, I don't like it when, like, we don't have a clear objective for like the night's festivities or something like that. But if it's, I don't know, if it's, yeah, that's just it. It's like I'm introverted, so I don't always want to hang out with people. But if I do, I think I would probably want to do it one-on-one outside like friend groups.
Yeah.
Of which I have only 2, I guess.
Well, Brandon,
Everything else is pretty much professional.
Let's talk about us. Mm-hmm. Because I believe...
Oh no, everyone. Drew said he was going to break up with me. I just didn't know he was going to do it on this podcast.
Yeah, I wanted to do it so everyone could hear it. Now, I think I've known you since 2005, maybe?
That is correct.
Which is 13 years now.
Haven't we talked about us already? I'm sorry.
This podcast?
Yes, keep going.
I don't actually know if we have.
Who cares? Keep
But,
going.
anyway, what I'm getting at is we used to be in the same class, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Probably in 7th grade, 8th grade. I don't know if it happened very often in 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th, but we were in drama club together.
It did in 11th, because we were in the same English class.
That's right.
We made that project.
I don't even remember it.
Yes, you do. You shared it to me, not...
I mean, oh, in 11th grade?
Yeah, remember the Ayn Rand project?
Oh, that was in 11th grade.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just so everyone knows.
I forgot how bad I was in 11th grade.
Just so everyone knows, Drew portrayed founder of rational objectivism, Miss Ayn Rand.
And it was not as bad as you'd think.
In a video, it was honestly not bad. Like, he had the bowl cut right. All he missed was, like, a feminine demeanor, but he got the voice right, too, and everything. It was fantastic.
It was really eerie.
However, Sans, that, select choir, lunch, I think that's it.
We saw each other a lot, though, and we hung out.
Mm-hmm.
And then college rolled around, and we went to separate colleges. But we still saw each other. But here's the thing. I'm sitting with you here right now, and I'm feeling like our friendship is as strong as ever. And it's cool. But if you think about it, we see each other a lot less than we used to. And you'd think, logically, that would mean that we have a weaker friendship or a sadder friendship because we don't get to see each other as much as we used to. And it's unlikely that, I mean, I can't even really foresee a scenario where we see each other every day, regularly, unless we somehow wind up working at the same job, or if we
Or
do
rooming in the same place.
That's also possible, or if we do an extracurricular and we happen to be in the same town.
I don't know if I could handle you as a roommate, but...
That would be interesting. Brandan and Drew lived together for a week!
It's the odd couple IRL.
And that's a whole other topic, living with people, but
Living with people, your roommates rarely are your friends. Like, my senior year roommates were a huge, huge exception. Because my roommates, until that point, were bland or mildly annoying.
Not only did I manage to room with my friends, I lived in the same room as Nick, our friend.
Yes.
One of my very good friends. And we're like, it worked out for me. So I don't know. In my experience, it's just, it's a game of adaptation. And you just got to understand, there's times for hanging out, and then there's times for living, and whatever. So I don't know. I feel like we could give it a shot, Brandon, but I've literally never thought of this until now because you've prompted me. But on that, though, it's tough for us to see each other as frequently as we used to, is the bottom line there. And so, I don't know, do you feel like that affects us or not? Because the way I feel about it, I mean, it'd be nice to see you more frequently. But, we've got busy lives, and, compared to 10, 13 years ago, there's more going on. I mean, we know more people at the very least. And so time has got to be divided, and I think I'm just happy that I'm able to divide the time, see you less, but when I do see you, I'm not feeling like there's a loss. I mean, I feel more thankful than I do upset.
Well, you don't want to, like, oversaturate with, like, seeing each other all the time, because, like, when you do see friends after long periods of time, it's great to reunite with them. Like, I reunited with my roommates just a few days ago down in New York. It was really good. We didn't spend a whole lot of time together, but it was still fun none the same. I think it's more... Your closest friendships stem from commonalities, maybe similar personality traits, but not traits. I'm more mean like common interests. Generally, similar socioeconomic backgrounds, but also just I feel like the strongest friendships, like you have to go through something. I don't know what it is. It's not always like, oh, we survived an earthquake together. No, that can be the thing, but it's either something really good, really bad, just a big fucking thing, and that's what ends up. I took this class in college called the course was called Friendship. It was really like the philosophy of friendship, because it was part of the philosophy department, and it's taught really early in the morning, so I didn't retain a whole lot from it. But ultimately, friendship, at least in the Aristotelian sense, boils down to wanting the good for the other, in this case, your alleged friend. And a second part, which I'm trying to remember, I think it's something like doing good by them, or something like that. And, then that has to be reciprocated. So those are the necessary components, but, like, what really makes them the strongest is one would argue love. Not love in the romantic sense, but love from the Greek word philia, meaning like a friendly kind of love. And that has to grow out of something. And this is the something that, like, I'm sort of getting at.
Yeah, I mean...
Romantic love, same thing, just different.
Yeah, so I think you established that you do have to have a certain level of friendship with someone where I think you can get to that point of comfort where, you keep seeing them.
Yeah.
No matter how much time has passed.
Unless, like, some sort of falling out happens, then, then a spatial divide isn't, or temporal divide isn't going to really destroy that.
Now, here's a fun fact for our listeners, and I am excited to see your reaction to this and see how quickly you piece it together.
Okay.
But a while back, Brandan and I mean, we're a dynamic duo here, but we really kind of used to be a part of a trio.
Caramel Bear! Shout out to anyone who got the Scrubs reference.
Well, there's a third chair here, and I can't help but almost wonder what it'd be like if that third guy, and I don't know if we're thinking of the same one.
I think we're thinking of the same one. I'll tell you what, is it the same person who did the Ayn Rand project with us?
Yeah! Yeah, oh, for the record, in that project, Dan did a Stephen Colbert report. Impression is the word I was looking for.
Who's Dan, Drew?
Did I call you Dan?
Yes, you did!
I'm sorry, I just forgot the brand part. It's just his speaking
Drew also
error.
has a friend named Dan.
I do. But Brandan is better because he has 4 letters in his name. And then Dan.
That's fucking right.
But... yes, the friend that we did. You see, I hesitate to say names, even though we've already dropped Nick and Dan.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say his name because it's been years since I talked to him, and I don't know what his deal would be.
Wait, we got dinner with him, didn't we? Or lunch or something like. How long ago was that? Was that 2014?
It was years.
Yes, years, but like.
But yeah, three or so years ago, maybe even 4. I mean. I wanted to interview him, actually, for one of the Decom podcasts, and we were in touch briefly, but he never got back to me, and he had said he wanted to do it. I even, like, for a while, I was trying to, when he was in town, I'm like, you want to be in a video? You want to hang out? And...
all right, because his family still lives here.
I mean, I assume so. I
think
don't
so.
know. But, I mean, I've got a whole list that I made a while ago of just all the people I was trying to hang out with. And they said, yeah, and then they bailed. And I just, like, wrote the name and the infraction. Like,
Drew's shit list.
because I was getting livid. I mean, I like these people, but I'm like, just please stop. And I believe he was on the list. And, but that's the thing. It's, what happened with, like, I miss him. And it'd be cool, if we could all hang out again.
Yeah.
But I don't know if or when that's going to happen. And that makes me sad because
That does make me sad.
we had great times, the three of us together. We really did. I remember, like, he had a birthday party. I think it was just the three of us.
It was. Yeah, we went to his house. He lived very, very, very close to our neighborhood. His birthday is very close to Drew's, actually.
His birthday? Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it is. I thought you meant his house.
No. Well,
Which was
the
also-
house is also very close
Yeah.
to your old house and my old house. And I remember it was a sleepover. I don't know. Where did we go to dinner? Like pizza or something like that? Like Pizza Hut? I remember
Possibly.
I remember how the night ended. Like we slept
I think I do
around
too.
like his living room, but we spent the night watching episodes of
House, yes.
And it was fun.
It was. I had never seen House. I'm like, this is a pretty good show. And yeah, it was just, and
Although I will say this, his sister, great woman. I knew she was going to medical school at the time, and she liked House too. Like she was watching it with us, and she ruined the magic for me. She's like, "Oh yeah, like any doctor will tell you exactly what the ailment is." During an episode of House, I'm like, what? It's really not a mystery? God damn it. Then House is the worst doctor ever.
of course, there's our House parody,
Yes.
which I'm happy to say I now am able to.
You got access to your account?
Oh no! Here's the thing. That was on an old account I will not say the name of, but
They might be listening.
circa 2012, I thought, the account's lost. And I was really bothered because I thought it was hacked or something like that. The password had changed and I didn't know what happened, so I thought it must be hacked. And at the time, there was really no way I could get it back. Now, there are only 2 videos on there, and one of them was that House parody, but it just drove me insane knowing there was no way that I could get rid of those videos. Not that I was, like, embarrassed or anything like, but I like the idea of knowing I have control. Years later, we have a different channel. I'm trying to get access to that channel. In the process, I realize, and I don't know how it happened, that our friend Dan somehow linked the first channel I was talking about to one of his own channels. I was like, you've had this the whole time?
Was this
And
very
so-
recently?
Yeah, a year ago or something.
'Cause you're trying
so
to-
I was
yeah.
relieved, but the problem was I still didn't know where the other channel was. And if you thought the first channel was a nightmare, the second channel, horrible.
Yeah.
It took years.
You told me how you're trying to unlock it.
If you have not heard,
Yeah.
I finally have it back,
Yay!
which is great.
All it took was several emails back and forth.
It was insane.
You emailed me and one of them was like, what should I do? I'm like, Because you were talking with the YouTube person or something.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was because there's a lot of legal correspondence.
You're like, how much evidence do I need? I'm like, throw the fucking book at them.
Did I do that thing where I say hypothetically speaking? Because I know you're not like really allowed to give legal advice.
This isn't a legal matter, really. This is
Okay.
like a thing that's like, if they all like in a non-legal capacity, you're like, they want evidence, so like, give them as much evidence as you can.
But yeah, I've got both of those back.
Nice.
And neither of having access to both those channels do not make me particularly miss our mutual friend. But regardless, I miss him. And it's like, I want to get back to that. But could we? Is it possible? And I mean, what's the worst that would happen if we couldn't? I mean, it was nice.
We have to forego a polyamorous relationship. Is that so bad, Drew? What's wrong with monogamy?
I don't know, but fuck, what's the word of the day?
I don't know. I forgot it.
Why does this always happen?
I
to us?
remember. Come on.
Viagra.
Viagra. No.
Vacation. Do you actually remember it?
I do.
What is it?
I know. I want to use it in a sentence. Like,
Do it.
you haven't made the necessary victuals, my friend.
Victuals! Man, that's a weird one. See,
It sounds like I'm sorry. I'm about to say something so stupid. My friend of mine from Australia explained how to talk in a New Zealand accent, and he said, so what happens to happen is A becomes E becomes I, and O becomes you. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense now, because then I can hear Peter Jackson's voice in my brain talking on like the Fellowship of the Ring commentaries. Like, you see, we went down to Hobbiton, and we had to plant a lot of vegetables. And vegetables with a New Zealand accent sounds like victuals.
say victuals in a New Zealand accent.
Victuals.
Oh.
Vegetables and victuals.
Well, you could
Because
have...
there is no A, E, or O in victuals.
Vegetables could be victuals.
Or victuals. Victuals. Because you got the A.
I can't do a New Zealand accent. I mean, I could probably slum it, but... It would just remind me of our mutual friend. Who was from New Zealand, I guess, but not at all. Now, that's the thing. I mean, worst case scenario, you never see him again, and it's a bummer, and that's it. But, you know, we fondly remember him. Best case scenario, just like I
Fondly remember him.
You know,
the Titanic theme starts playing.
that's literally on TV right now. I'm not kidding you. That's what they were watching upstairs. But
I can just picture the broadcasters. Hey, they think it's cold now. Let's show them what real cold looks like.
it's a good point.
Get fucked, Northeastern America.
Yeah, as of right now, it's quite chilly where we are.
Yeah.
What's it, -4 degrees?
Woo! And that's Fahrenheit, y'all.
Oh my!
For all our international
I have
listeners.
to go outside later, but yeah, I mean, we've been able, me and you, to be in touch fairly frequently. I mean, this podcast alone is a barometer for how frequently we can see each other, because we can't do it weekly, really, but we do it when we can. And our other friend, I mean, we have the luxury of being in the same place frequently, but I don't know if he's ever in the same place as us, because he's, you know, on the other side of the country, really, or in the middle of it, what have you. So, I mean, we're rarely in the middle of the country.
I've never actually really been to the middle of the country.
Neither have I, really.
I've flown through Detroit, Chicago, and Dallas, and that's it.
So it's a location thing,
Yep.
but man, I don't know. I like to think that we'll be able to. We should put in an effort, man. Maybe we can take this show on the road.
Let's have a Midwestern edition.
But we'll wait until you're making money and can pay for my ticket. Because I'm making whatever revenue comes off of this podcast.
Wait, counteroffer. You fund the trip. Oh, it's a great idea. Oh, man.
See, listen,
You're a financial wizard.
part of me feels this deep, upsetting shame that what I want to do with my life pays so much less money in most circumstances than my friends. And eventually, like, all of my friends are going to be making more money than me unless things go very well for me. But on the other hand, I'm like, well, I can mooch. They're gonna have all this money. You know?
So wait, so you're excited to become the turtle of an entourage of friends?
Listen, I don't want to be, but if life doesn't give you lemons, don't drink lemonade.
If life doesn't give you lemons, drink fucking water, mooch.
I just, listen, I'll pay you back when I'm famous. I'll pay you back when my podcast hits. But I have one other prompt that's related to all of this. Because I suppose we've sufficiently discussed the topic. I mean, when it boils down to it, we've talked about what it takes to have a friend where you can spend some time apart and still get along really well. We've covered, our frustrations and the sadness associated with friends that we are and aren't able to keep in touch with, and what it takes to be in touch with these people. So I think we've really covered a lot of ground there. But here's something that I thought of a little while back, not too long ago. And I thought it was really interesting. I was thinking about, you have a married couple, and they love each other and they're married. But,
they don't know how to swim.
That's a good one. But no, rather, they don't work together, okay? Mm-hmm. And let's say that, we'll say it's, just to keep it simpler, I wanted to make it a lesbian couple that we're talking about, but then we'd have, like, a lot of females in the equation, and I'd have to name them. So for narrative simplicity, we're going to keep it lame and have them be a man-woman couple, okay? So the man's at his job, and there's a woman that he works very closely with. And he's basically working with this woman, we'll say, 8-10 hours a day, something like that. And this man loves his job. Let's say his job is making Twizzlers. He loves making Twizzlers, and this woman loves making Twizzlers, and they have a lot of positive, fulfilling experiences together making Twizzlers. Now, the man also loves his wife. And the man has never thought about getting with Twizzler woman or anything like that, and vice versa. And the man goes home with his wife, and they do things together. They go on vacations. They have nice evenings at home. They might watch a movie. But when it comes down to it, in terms of fulfillment in the spectrum of events or things you could be doing, the man is always feeling the most fulfilled at work. And he's always sharing those experiences with a woman that is not the woman he's married to. So in that scenario, and I imagine this happens like for a lot of couples. I mean, if I were the woman in that relationship, like the wife, or okay, fine, we'll change the scenario a little bit. Let's say that I was married to a woman, and this woman had a job making Twizzlers. And she loves making Twizzlers, and she was working very closely with the guy. The woman would come home to me, and I know she loved me, and she'd kiss me, and she'd let me touch her boobies. And then I'd kiss our children goodnight and give them Twizzlers. But I digress. The thing is, though, there'd probably be a voice in my head that would be really paranoid, thinking, like, she's having these really meaningful experiences with Twizzler guy. And I don't get to be a part of those experiences.
Does she tell you about those experiences?
I'm sure she does. Mm-hmm. She'd be like, oh, we did this great, fun thing. I'd be like, wow, that's great. But I'd be vicariously living, through her stories. Mm-hmm. And it's just, what do you do in that situation where, just you're a couple, married perhaps, and your lot in life makes it so you guys can't actually be together for the most fulfilling parts of your days. It's like a real conundrum to me. I almost think like I need to marry someone where I'm gonna be able to like be working with them. It's just weird to think about. I mean, then again, some people are miserable at their jobs. I'd venture to say a lot of people are, and they don't give a fuck what happens at work.
I think what needs to happen there is marriage is established on common interests and stuff like that. So presumably you're already doing stuff with them.
Yeah.
But you can't do stuff with people all the time. Like, there are couples that I know do everything together, and I'm like, to me that seems almost unhealthy. Like, there are couples that are, like, really, really in love with each other, and I've told my girlfriend about this, but, like, the way they gush about everything, like, it seems, like, I know it's genuine. I do know for some of the couples that I see this with, I know it's genuine, but I've also seen where they do it, and then everything falls apart, and it's like almost maybe it wasn't overcompensation, but if the relationship ended, you look back and it is overcompensation. So my thing is, like, if you clearly love your spouse, whoever you might be, and you can't do everything with them, so you need to find things to do with them, Like, and I know for couples nowadays, especially if both are working and they have children to support, that's difficult, like, because holidays don't always match up, kids are always doing things, but that's the struggle of married life.
Well, that's the thing. I mean,
which is why many couples don't have kids anymore. So.
And I'm not even saying that it's almost like I'm not upset that I can't spend every waking moment with my wife. I'm upset I can't spend the most important moments with my wife. I would probably, if it could be arranged, I would rather like work at the Twizzler factory with my fictional Twizzler wife, and then have her hang out with her friends or something when she gets home or something like that. Maybe we don't spend as much time on the weekends. I'd rather have that. Because at least I can say, all right, well, I don't get to see her on the weekends or anything, but I am spending the most important part of her day with her, and we get to share it together. That's what would be ideal, but it's weird. It's almost suggesting that your marriage is not the most meaningful relationship in your life. I mean, comparatively, I'm sure like you weigh the pros and cons, and it is, but to me, marriage, I mean, I need to think carefully before I say this, because I have the philosophy that I think very strong friendships should be on a very similar keel to a marriage. But a marriage is supposed to feel like a really important thing. You wouldn't want any friendship you have to feel like it overpowers a marriage. And you almost, I mean, I don't necessarily agree with this, but I don't think you'd want a relationship you have with a coworker or a friend or something to feel like it's like rivaling that of your marriage. Like it's tough, but maybe that's all right also. I mean, like, let's say you marry your girlfriend or something like that. You know, we have a very close friendship, and you have a close, well, okay, that's actually a bad example, because you have different opinions on that. I'm getting lost here. I'm getting lost in the fray. I guess what I'm getting at is, I think the idea of a friendship you have being more important than your marriage is kind of a troubling one.
I think so.
You want your marriage to feel like it's at least equal to friendships.
To me, I think the relationship hierarchy should go the relationship you have to your kids, then spouse, then everything else.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
And I only put kids above marriage is because presumably the spouse is going to have the same feeling as well. Because, you know, that's why even divorced persons, like, clearly the kids meant more than the marriage in some cases.
You can leave your spouse in a parked car and it'll probably be okay, but you can't leave your babies in a parked car.
Sure.
On a hot summer day, we'll add that detail.
Okay.
You know what I'm getting at.
Yes.
Not that I even wanted to get into like family hierarchies or anything like that, but I suppose I prompted it. That's the thing that I guess there's nothing to be done. Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes it just sucks, and you know your marriage is second to another relationship you have in your life. Mm-hmm. But then again, you know, some people get divorced, so yeah. You know, I guess we could get into that in the marriage episode. I guess marriage.
It's also, we're not even getting into like with the military. Like
no, we're not.
Relationship to country versus spouse or children. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole relationship thing.
We should bring in our military correspondent in on that one.
I guess the thing is that there's just a lot of ways for a marriage to not work out in an ideal way, and that's super daunting. Mm-hmm. So no one should get married, is what we're saying. The theme here is your friends will leave you and never find love.
Yeah.
Can we make that the episode title?
What's the way to do? Your friends will leave you and you'll never find love.
Or should it be more imperative? Like, never find love. Don't do it. Something to that effect. I mean...
Love's lost.
You listeners are probably going to be able to figure out what we landed on at this point.
Love's victuals lost.
Oh god, no, that hurts too much.
Does it, Drew?
It hurts a little bit. Anyway, we've been going a little while.
Yeah.
But I think we have time for one more segment, Brandon.
Oh, do go on.
Okay, this segment is Unzip All Your Zippers. And then zip them back up. Oh, that's gonna be nice, right in the mic. That's good. See, I only had my fly, and I didn't want to.
Did you notice I had like several zippers?
You had a lot of zippers.
I had my vest, then my sweater, and then my fly.
You had many more zippers than I anticipated.
Gotta dress warm.
Yeah, that is smart.
Sweater weather.
I usually have a sweatshirt, so that would have been great. We would have had a whole orchestra of
A
zippers.
zipper sweatshirt, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Wait, do you have a different way of referring to sweatshirts, or?
Sweatshirts, I don't always feel like they have to have zippers.
Okay, see, how would you define the difference between a sweater and a sweatshirt?
I don't typically.
Okay, for me, a sweater has always been, it doesn't have a zipper. You pull it over your head.
Okay.
It's like a thick shirt. And a sweatshirt, it has a zipper. And I
no.
know that's not a smart way to separate them,
No,
but that's always how I felt about it.
If I was to separate them, it wouldn't be by zipper accessory. It'd be by like fabric thickness.
Yeah, exactly. It should be by texture. I can completely agree with that. And by that definition, I more than likely have a sweatshirt. But it also has a zipper. That's the thing. I mean, I don't know if they have sweaters with zippers, but that could change my life. Because I just like zippers, man.
Yeah.
If I could have a t-shirt that zipped up, I probably would.
Zip up t-shirt.
I probably would, except the zipper would feel cold against my skin. I wouldn't like it very much. See, t-shirts I'm fine with, but everything else I want to be zippers. Except pants, I guess. See, because the way you put on pants is like no way having like a zipper is going to be fun. But hey, that's why I like button-down shirts, things like that.
I don't listen to a zipper in the mic just one more time.
Oh, you can hear it. You got the headphones. Isn't that nice? Have you heard of ASMR?
Who?
ASMR.
No.
Autonomous sensory motor response.
It's like just like sounds that make you happy, kind of.
Exactly. But it's not just it makes you happy. It's hard to explain because basically it's a specific physical sensation that you get. It's like this tingly warmth, like when you climax sexually, but not as intense. But
So not at all.
somewhat analogous to that. It's like this comforting rush. I don't know, maybe like when you're in the cold and you just get a nice wave of heat. It's a very physical response.
Yeah.
And it's to often audio triggers. It doesn't have to be audio triggers. It can be visual triggers too. Sometimes people might just like watching a fan rotate or things like that. But it leads to this very nice, relaxing sensation. I don't know if this describes anything you've ever experienced.
I can experience it right now because I can recall audio, the way certain things sound.
Okay, but do you feel that physical...
I don't feel the warmth, but I feel better about hearing it in my brain.
Okay. Well, here's a fun fact. I have ASMR.
Oh.
I've had it for a very long time, and I didn't know what it was called, but I was always looking for it because, I mean, I just remember there was a kid that had an inhaler, and it kind of like puffed out and puffed back in. It was like an accordion in a way, and it didn't make an accordion sounds, but it made this sound of filling. I remember digging that in kindergarten. I was all about that sound.
Oh, I think I know. I think I have a better candidate. I can't describe it on here. I can show you later, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, another thing I really like, certain doctor voices, or certain voices that sound really nice. It just, it does it for me. And this isn't a sexual thing, usually. In my case, it's definitely not. But I never knew what it was called, so I didn't know how to find it, but I stumbled upon this like weird thing, ASMR, on a doctor voice video I rather liked. I'm like, what is that? And I punched that in, and my life changed. Because I finally had a label for this thing that for over a decade I had loved, and now I'm able to really take advantage of it. And there's nothing harmful at all about it. I mean, the worst thing that could happen is people go, that's weird! But apparently it's a very growing community. There's a lot of people, I don't know how many of them actually feel that physical thing, but I feel the physical thing, and it's cool.
Whose voices do you dig, really?
None of my friends. I feel like I could in the right context, but I don't like the idea of relaxing to my friends. You would probably be the friend I relax to.
Yes.
Got a nice, rich voice, Brandon.
Next Christmas, I'm going to record a 40-hour-long track for Drew to listen to.
It's like how you don't want to be sexually attracted to your lesbian friends. It's like you don't want to get ASMR from your friends. But I mean, no, it's often just nice voices is usually what it is for me. Frequently doctors, but occasionally other things can do it. There are certain sounds that I'll just go, wow, that's nice.
Without thinking, like, no one's voice does it for me quite like Deems Taylor, the famous music critic / narrator of Fantasia. And a close second is probably Bing Crosby.
Bing Crosby, depending on what he's saying, I think that could work. I think we could Crosby it up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was a great segment, the zipper segment.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Deviate into ASMR stuff.
I like to think that discussion on ASMR was a qualification for fulfilling the segment on zippers. So that really fleshed out the segment.
Fleshed out.
Yeah. But I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Are we going to have like an actual real ending this time too?
Oh my god.
Are you just
Are we?
formally end it?
I don't know.
Wait, no!